Hi, everybody, and welcome into another edition of 321 King County Sports Talk. John Parenti, Mike Green alongside on another beautiful day.
Yeah, different venue for us, right? Took a little had to
Well,
gas the
different
car
venue
up
for
and go.
you. Yeah.
Had to gas the car up and head down to Westerly.
I take a day trip from West Warwick. It took like almost an hour today.
It always takes long. It's always no matter how close you are. Yep.
Anyway, what's going on?
Nothing. Another day, another Saturday afternoon. Just ready to talk some sports.
And
we have
another
talked to
special
it.
guest.
Very excited, actually.
Yeah, I know you are. I'm
Yeah,
kind
I
of
am.
geeked up too. Four-time Rhode Island Sportscaster of the Year, Nick Coit joins us. Nick, it's great to see you. Congratulations once again on the award. Very well deserved.
Thank you, guys. Very much appreciated. It's always nice to be recognized by your peers, and that's the flattering thing here with this honor. And we've got so many great media colleagues in the state that it's really cool when that happens. So I appreciate you saying that.
So what are you up to now?
Doing a lot of things, making it all work. A lot of freelancing, and I've been freelancing for years with Brown University and my good friend and radio partner Scott Cordishi. He's set me up for success there. So, whatever he asks me to do over there for the broadcast, I do it. He says jump, I say how high. So it's really fun. But I've been doing some work with Providence College too. I actually did the hockey game last night against Northeastern, which was really fun. And that's just such great action. Hockey East is just fantastic. And then the other thing I'm doing, guys, is teaching. I'm teaching at URI and I'm teaching at Dean College. So trying to spread the love for the industry and the business.
Terrific.
Right.
Yeah.
Want to get a little postmortem on what happened on Sunday?
Sunday. Well, I think we asked Nick. Let's our guest, kick it off.
Got any takeaways from the Super Bowl, Nick?
Yeah, it's I tried to prepare myself for, if this was the result, how I would feel, because I think it's always good to keep in perspective the season that this team had. And believe me, guys, it was down there the last two seasons when they went 4-13. It wasn't pretty. There was a lot of, let's call it, dysfunction. And what I think has been wonderful this year is that they have reestablished a culture down there. They've reestablished structure, and it starts with the head coach. And I think he's fabulous. I think Mike Vrabel is the perfect guy to lead this franchise going forward. And, I think if it wasn't confirmed by then, it was confirmed now with the videos they got of him mic'd up and inside the NFL and him, shaking the hands. It's easy to shake the hands of the players when you're winning, coming back to the locker room and hugging them and celebrating. It's hard to keep their heads up after losing the Super Bowl. And so just seeing that clip and then seeing him talk to Drake May, it was disappointing. It was disappointing that they lost the game. But man, do I feel good about the fact that they've got a great coach and they've got a good young quarterback. And you start there with a football team, you can go a lot of ways.
I agree. They're going to be around for a while now. I kind of got a chuckle out of this. There's a sports talk show host in New York that says, they won't win more than 5 games next year. Then I look back and I said, I looked at their schedule. They're going to Jacksonville, they're going to Seattle, they go to Kansas City, they're going to Green Bay, they go to Detroit, Chicago. So they do have a tougher schedule. But they also have 2 games against the Jets. That's 2 of the 5 wins.
Right. And they've got the Dolphins who are going to be rebuilding, and they've got but it is going to be a tougher schedule for sure. I think even before this was said by, I think it was Brandon Walker from Barstool, who I think you're talking about, who's just, it's going, you know how these social media and these hosts and clips go now. It's like, okay, that's probably too far in the other direction.
Mike reads a lot like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Mike seems like a positive guy every time I talk to him.
I am, but we're usually like high school sports. I'm always trying to be positive with young people.
Sure.
But now these millionaires are getting paid a lot of money. I think I can be a little more,
Absolutely.
I can kind of look at them a little differently.
Yep.
I thought the game was it kind of fell the way it was supposed to feel. You looked like a very older, experienced Seattle team versus a very young Patriot team. And that's kind of the outcome I expected, honestly. It was very disappointing to see the level of execution
For sure.
and kind of the lack of adjustments. Personally, like when you look at it, it was variable being Bill Belichickian when he just, Campbell was his pick.
Mhm.
He was going to live and die on Campbell instead of maybe they didn't give him a lot of help. They didn't chip really well. They didn't add a tight end very often. It was a lot him one-on-one, clearly overmatched throughout the game. Confidence level shot, which led to Drake May's confidence level being shot. I don't know if they did enough really to identify the weakness on that offensive line and really try to work towards that. Conversely, that's exactly what Seattle did.
Yeah.
They knew exactly where the weaknesses were, and they exploited those weaknesses. So I'm not going rushing out and buying any Patriot gear to say, hey, they're great and they're back. When we watched the Patriots for those 20 years, I think you felt confident that they were good. They were winners.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what point of the game, Tom Brady was always going to bring you out of it, or they were going to do something to bring you out of it. Belichick was going to have a great defense. That wasn't here. This was just a feel good. Everyone loves each other. Let's make a team. No, don't change the recipe in the macaroni and cheese. You needed to change the recipe last week. You needed to do something, and they really didn't. And so I think that's kind of an indicator of a young team. And I'm sure Vrabel and McDaniels know what they can throw at them and what they can't. So I think that was kind of maybe a reason why they didn't want to overwhelm them. But you had a veteran defense. They played lights out. I went on record last week to say I wasn't a big Gonzo fan. So I think he did well.
I was gonna say, I hope you are now, because
I'll tell you why. I'm not going to give this guy any credit yet. You got to catch the ball. Like, that's great. You knocked it down, but intercept the ball. Like, I would say to kids, when we had situations like this, intercept it, because it just gives them another down now.
Yeah.
It gives them another chance. So if you can catch it, because it's important. That's why guys are on defensive backs. They can't catch well, so they make them a DB.
Yeah.
And then someone said, I want to say, I think it was Pete Shepard last week said, what a great catch in Denver. That was a punt. His interception was really no effort at all. A high school kid would have caught that ball. So I want to see him intercept the ball, take and change the possession so the offense can get the ball back and not just knock it down.
Sure.
That's my rant. So that's it.
That one, you know what, Mike? That one, I'll say I didn't go too far there, because I think you hit on the bigger problem, which was they couldn't get anything going offensively. Even if he intercepts that ball, it was like they couldn't get any time for the quarterback. The one adjustment I agree with you on that they did not make, that I was kind of surprised, like, can they pick this up or can they check it, whatever it was the fact that they kept blitzing Witherspoon out of the secondary. And I'm like, if he's coming up to the line, he's coming. So what are we doing here? Like, can somebody step in front of him? I don't know. That was the one adjustment that I was like, but I know it was tough not to see the adjustments, but I think you hit on the point that I think is the one that the coaches had in mind, which was, we kind of know what our personnel is. I don't know if even giving an extra blocker on that left side for Campbell, that's going to take a pass catcher off the field. And it's like, all right, now instead of 4, you got 3, and that secondary's still pretty darn good. It probably makes it easier for them. So, I don't want to. It sounds like I'm conceding when I say that, but it's like that's probably what they were looking at in that scenario, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, there were instances where they were blitzing off the corner, in the wideouts. So I don't know what their scheme is, but generally speaking, when the slot sees a blitz coming from the guy covering him, they check their route to a hot route.
Right.
He becomes the hot route.
Right.
And I saw a few times when that receiver just went vertical into the safety who was going to cover him, instead of just sitting up and stopping and maybe getting a 3 to 5 yard gain.
Of course.
And so that, and I don't know how much Drake May was watching that, but when you go back and you start to look at the film, you're like, all right, what could they have done, based on what Seattle was giving them? Mm-hmm. And that was one of the situations where they were blitzing and they never picked up the hot receiver. He held the ball too long.
Right.
That's on him. That's growth. I think that's kind of also the wide receiver's point. They can't take off running downfield when there's a blitz over his head.
Sure.
He's going to stop. It's not. It's kind of just a long handoff at that point. But onward to the 27 season, I guess.
The other member of our team just showed up. Johnny Boots, welcome in.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you? Mr. Coit, thank you for joining us.
Of course, Johnny. What's going on, man?
How are you, sir?
I'm good. Very good. Good to be with you.
Good. You
So my
too.
next question is, what do you do with the 31st pick in the draft? Because it's a low pick, and you're going to be a few offensive linemen that are going to be gone by the time you're selecting. Do you move up?
Oh, I have no. They have a ton of money on the cap, right, Nick? Right, guys? They have a ton of money.
They've got some room. They've got some room to work with. So they can address some needs in free agency and or if they got to extend guys. But guys, the best way to build is through the draft. So, we'll see what they do.
31-62, not necessarily the best picks ever.
No, but there's, I think there was a guy 199 that worked out pretty well. So I think it's, he'll be all right at some point. Where you fall is kind of
the depth of drafts is important, right? And I think that might have been maybe one of the best signs this year with this draft. Yeah, sure. Like Campbell and Henderson, your top picks, they can still develop and come along. But I think, guys, maybe assessing the year as a whole, their best pick might have been their fourth rounder, Craig Woodson. That kid's pretty good. He's got a knack for tackling. And so if they're picking up on guys like that was the one thing that I think Belichick never lost touch with the draft. The high-end talent, okay, he had his issues. But like rounds 4 through 7 and then the undrafted guys always found a gem, found the Joe Tooney, found somebody like that. If Vrabel, Elliott Wolf, Ryan Cowden can find those guys again, like a Craig Woodson, that's going to go a long way. So the depth of drafts is, I think, going to be important. And I guess the word is that tight end might be one of those positions where, okay, even if you go fourth round or later, you might get somebody that's going to be pretty productive.
Nick, is this your favorite time of the year?
I like drafts. Yeah, I like this stuff. I do. I think it's fascinating. I like the stories of kids that are at small schools. Like I'm fascinated to see, and I know him personally, and I think he's a great kid. I'm fascinated to see what kind of team takes a chance on an AJ Pena from Rhode Island. And I know he's got the connection here, but he's just got some toughness. He's got some leadership. He's, and he's one of those guys that you're like, okay, he's at an FCS school, but some team's going to look at him and say, doesn't matter where he plays. He's got all those great traits, and those are the stories that I really like to lock in on, along with what our team is doing here and how they build the next great team in New England. It's
so hard for those players coming out of that conference and that division to make it. I know. I was lucky enough to coach a few guys who had a shot. Some that are in the NFL and then some who fell short. Had tryouts. Anthony Witherstone, who went to Merrimack, was on that great team that we had with Kwity Paye. Great team. We couldn't have lost with those guys. That wasn't me. I just said go. And when you have that many guys going Division I and different levels, you can't lose. And so he's done the tour. Like he went to the Kansas City Chiefs. He was an undrafted free agent, went to their rookie camp, got hurt. And then it's hard. Like their road is a lot harder. It's almost like being a walk-on on a college where you really have to go above and beyond to get noticed and get signed.
Definitely.
I look at Xavier Truss and his journey to the NFL, playing on an SEC two-time national championship team. 4 of the 5 guys he played with all got drafted. He was the one guy who didn't. And I met up with him this week. He's in Rhode Island, so we talked a little bit. But it's hard. And so it's like for AJ, he's going to have to be really special. He's going to have to do something really special out of the box to get some attention. If not one team, another team, someone talks about, hey, this kid from Rhode Island's pretty good, and fills a need for them. So it's got to work harder than those blue chip guys.
It's hard. Yeah, absolutely. But I love just following and seeing where it goes. When you see him pop up at the combine and then, if they make a practice squad somewhere, who knows, because
they get paid.
Yeah, right. Right. And it makes a big difference. And you never know who the next, like a James Devlin's going to be, because he went from practice squad to practice squad. And, he's one of your success stories out of Brown, so that's really fun.
Yeah. The thing about X is he's 6'7", 300 pounds, and you can't teach that.
I know.
You can't. That was what it was. So it's tough. But even though he's that big, Very difficult for him to sit in high school bleachers. I sat with him, he couldn't get caught. I was like, yeah, they're not made for you. So, but he's doing the tour. He was an undrafted free agent with the Broncos. He was very happy in their camp, did well. Then he gets cut, and then probably a week later, New Orleans picked him up, and he loves it there. He really likes it. He's found a home there. He's a nice area in Louisiana, not in New Orleans. But he's enjoying it. He hopes to, play out. He's got a 3-year contract. So hopefully the goal is to get that second contract. But he's realizing it's a job, but he says the veterans, I said, how's Cam Jordan? Just like, that's the spot. That's the guy everyone knows. Great guy. They love him. They're very, very family oriented team, family first, so I think that's really neat that he said that. It's recognizable. So he's got room to grow. And I think he's going to work on his technique. And I think he came out of Georgia with some I don't say weaknesses, but things to work on.
Sure.
And so he's going to work on those things. And he's about 300, and he needs to be between 330 and 340, which is probably the heaviest he's going to be, because that's a big cat to be 6'7". That's a big human being.
That's
Certainly is.
it's true.
Want to put the football season to bed.
Sure.
So I know Nick's thrilled about what's about to happen. Are you just as thrilled
About
Mike Vrabel and the Drake May, the whole 9 yards, and the youth movement, and the whole thing? Despite I think this schedule is going to be.
I
above
like
the
Mike
road.
Vrabel. I think the
we all
key
can agree on
ingredients to
that.
this whole thing is Mike Vrabel. I'm not necessarily enamored with really anyone else necessarily on the team. Like Drake May's okay, but I have I think Brady bias. It's hard to. I'm looking at the quarterback at that for the Patriots through that lens, and I know it's not really fair, but I'll be more of a believer as he matures throughout his experience in the NFL.
You're very hard to convince about Drake May. You're very hard to convince about Christian Gonzalez. Probably the two highest.
Yeah,
paid
well, I'm
athletes on
not.
the team.
My daughter will tell you I'm not. The platitudes don't come easy. It's my shortcoming, Nick. You see me on one side, clapping for but the other part is I'm very ooh, the glass is half empty, and someone drew a hole in the bottom of the glass. So
I'll tell you, Mike. When your daughter comes home with that future husband, man, he's in for it. Man. It's going to be tough.
He's screwed. Oh, he's screwed.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
if he didn't have a gun now, he will then.
She realizes that. That's the other thing. She's going to be married before she tells us.
Yeah.
Just to avoid this conversation.
Right.
So we
Probably the
all
safer
agree
bet.
that my daughter's going to be married way before we get told.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm going to make a statement here. Mike Vrabel is not the best coach in New England. Joe
Joe
Mazzulla
Mazzulla.
is.
Ooh.
Nick, agree? Disagree? What's your take on the Celtics and what's your take on Joe?
I'll tell you right now, if I had power rankings, it's between those two guys, and I think this is Joe's most fabulous coaching job. And we can talk about with the Celtics how Jaylen Brown has obviously been a big help, because I think he stepped forward as that guy that can be a number one on a team. But where Joe's magic and the coaching staff's magic is coming in is those other guys, the role guys that are stepping forward. And in today's NBA, if you can develop young players to help you with the way that this salary structure and these aprons and all that are coming in, that goes a long way. And the fact that you're getting Jordan Walsh and Hugo Gonzalez and Luka Garza and all these guys to help you without Jason Tatum, and you're sitting at second in the East, that's a credit to Joe. And that's a credit to Joe for keeping a culture established. Because, I mean, you traded away Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. Those are two special players in the offseason that helped you win a championship, and you haven't missed a beat. That's huge. Because I think right now the model is Oklahoma City. Good young talent across the board. Sam Presti is an unbelievable
Emerson guy.
Emerson guy. You know it. He's very smart. And, if you can do what they've done, which is develop young talent, you're going to go a long way here and keep a sustained run. And the Celtics, I think, are on their way to that. Oh, yeah. And by the way, this guy, Jason Tatum's going to come back at some point soon.
Do you anticipate a March 1st return for Tatum?
I don't know. It's tough to tell. Johnny, because
They
it's
just
like
flexed the game for the 76ers to a
right. I
prime
know
time game.
everybody's like, I
Exactly.
wonder,
That's why I'm
right?
asking, and that's the
Yeah, right. I mean,
anticipation.
it's Vegas and television networks always know something before we do, right? So I would read into
Exactly.
it. Sure. Yeah, they might. They and if he does, great. If he's healthy enough, he feels healthy enough, great. If he can help you, I mean, it's just Jason Tatum we're talking about. So even if it's a guy that's coming back and maybe helping you off the bench, this team's second in the East, and you add a Tatum, that's pretty good.
Where do you
I
fit
think
all these new
Vucevic-
players? Sorry, John. Where do you fit all these new players that the Celtics are gaining? You know, do they have roles? I mean, that was one of the questions I see online that people are talking about. A lot of writers are talking about it. All these new guys that they're acquiring through trades and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think they're developing as they go along here. And
Yep.
I think particularly in the front court, Brad Stevens was definitely he was probably throwing some darts in the offseason, saying, okay, let's see what this Garza guy can do. Let's see what this Minot guy can do. Let's see what Amari Williams can do in the draft. And I think they're starting to like Garza's giving you something off the bench. And, you know, Amari Williams, they were able to trade Minot and a couple other guys because Williams, a young guy, showed them something.
Yeah, they got rid of Simmons in that trade
right.
too.
But
Yeah.
the big thing I think now is I think Vucevic fits a team model very well with this particular group because you needed somebody that's a big that can gobble up rebounds and that's a good passer like he is. And I think as time goes on, he's going to get better and better for sure. So I think he fits what they want. And then if you get Tatum back, that replaces some of the production you were getting from Simons in terms of the offense too. So it probably fits better.
Anybody here worried about the on-court chemistry when Tatum comes back?
I mean, you know, it'll take some adjustment probably, but I don't know. I think that's a good problem to have, John, right? It's like, man, you're adding Jason Tatum to your mix, and that's an embarrassment of riches sort of thing, you know?
I think it speaks to like Joe Mazzulla and Mike Vrabel. I think what they bring to the table is they speak to this new athlete they have. And I think that's really important that Joe is able to kind of, you know, get his message across to the youth, the young athletes like Mike. They speak their language, and those players are young men. They're really young. They're in their 20s, and they're able to talk to them in a way that really gets them to buy in. I think that's kind of the magic of those coaches and what makes these coaches now successful. The old school ranting and raving I went on about John Gruden, that doesn't work anymore. Like, I don't even think it works. Like, I couldn't go back I'd have to change everything I do as a coach to be comfortable in a setting. But those guys like Joe and Mike are really they're touching the heartbeat of those kids, and it's paying off.
I want to turn the corner and talk about college basketball, Nick. I want to talk about PCURI and the futures of Archie Miller and Kim English.
Sure. Yeah, it's been a tough year for the men's side. I'll say this: you want some NCAA tournament basketball around here.
Go see Timmy Reese.
Keep your eye on the women's squads. Yeah, I think Rhodey is really well positioned. They got a great team. Yeah, and they need fans. Tammy is clamoring to get fans in the stands in the Ryan Center. It's a good product, and she's electric to watch. So I'll tell you right now, you know, firsthand perspective, you won't be disappointed if you go down and watch them play. But it's not just URI. They're the best position, but right now, the women at Brown University, they're positioned to go to the Ivy Madness tournament, and so they're going to compete. Tough league because Columbia and Princeton and Harvard are always good, but hey, you get to the postseason, you win 2 games on a weekend in March, you're in the tournament, so that's a nice thing. And then I think what Lena Kukowski has done at Bryant has been really impressive too. She's got a group that's been together for a couple of years. They're competing well in the America East, so yeah, it's a tough year for the men's squads, but for the women's squads, they're going to be the ones that I think we're going to be watching in March, which is exciting because we haven't had a women's team in an NCAA tournament in 30 years. It's been that long, which would be awesome.
I saw Tammy and her team play last year against St. Peter's. And you're right, she's electric. And the presentation of a URI women's game is something to see. So if you get a chance, go down and watch the Rams. They're special. Nick is right.
Yep. Fabulous. Yeah.
But what about the Friars? Everybody's got the Friars at the tip of their tongue, and with that comes Kim English.
Yeah, it's tough. This is the second straight year where, you know, things have not gone well. And this year, I think they did a pretty good job of recruiting some really good talent into the program. You know, they are not lacking for offense. They can score. It's the other end of the floor that has not held up. And, you know, you've got some good young talent there, but it's not coming together. And so, you know, I think in terms of the future, you know, I think the fan base has its opinion, and I think there's a majority opinion. You know, I think it's going to come down to, you know, money and contract if they were to make a change here. You know, because that's what it comes down to with these sorts of things in college basketball.
Is it time to review NIL and what it means? If Mike and I have talked about this ad nauseum, being the positions that we held, me and Johnson Wales and him at the high school with the RIIL, but
Sure.
and NIL needs some work. I don't know how you're going to do it. There was a player, I forgot what game I was watching, but there was a player that's been at 4 institutions in 4 years
Yeah.
because he's chasing NIL money. It's just ridiculous.
It's hard. And we had, you know, we've had situations around college basketball where there will be guys. I mean, you're going to see a guy today that's wearing a St. John's uniform that, you know, there was a lot of talk last year about, you know, playing, not playing, what's his future, that sort of thing. And he goes to a different program in the Big East. And so, you know, it's definitely out there. It affects a lot of different programs, a lot of different players. I think there needs to be some sort of regulation. And particularly you mentioned the transfer portal, John. I think you should get one-time transfer. I think that was the intention when they made the rule. I think they called it the one-time transfer rule. Give you one transfer. The caveat, the asterisk would be the coaching change. Like if there's a coaching change, you should be able to make your own decision. But after one transfer, you should have to sit out. It should go back to the old rule, because I just think there should be some sort of penalty we shouldn't have guys going 4 programs in 4 years. It's ridiculous. It's like free agency, you know, and it makes it hard on the coaches because they have to re-recruit every year.
Right.
The hallmark of the NCAA has always been student athleticism.
Yeah.
You're a student first, then you're an athlete, especially in the lower divisions. But Mike and I take a guarded look at that.
Well, let's you know, we think about that. And back after, I remember when Notre Dame was like the powerhouse.
Mm-hmm.
This is a long time. This is before all of us, even you, John. They were great
Wow,
because
that's a
those
long
guys
time
came
ago.
back from World War II. The guys came back from the war. They were men, and they were able to go play in college because they had their eligibility. But they were men playing against college boys, and that's where Notre Dame. So it's kind of been there for a long time. I think the pure student athlete. When I was a kid, I'll never forget this. Mike Jaminski. Remember Mike Jaminski? He was Duke center.
Yeah. Yep.
So Mike Jaminski played at Duke, went to the NBA. His nephew or his cousin went to school with me. We're at St. Matthews. He pulls up on Elmwood Ave in a blue and white Trans Am, like Smokey and the Bandit. Now, where's a college kid getting that car? You know what I mean? Like, I thought of that, like, wow, it was the Trans Am with blue and white at Duke colors. I mean, this has been going, and now it's more transparent. It's uncomfortable and it's ugly to realize, but all this was kind of happening behind the scenes with kids getting paid. So, you know, if you talk to a college athlete, they're going to tell you we deserve to be paid because the college is making millions on our likeness. And so therefore, and the coaches and the stands are full. You look up at Michigan, there's 110,000 people screaming, you know, where's that money? Where's that revenue source? When does it make it to the athlete? And so I can see the athletes kind of, you know, pushing back on this, but I agree with you. There's got to be some control. This is, you know, there's a guy, Montana State, he's on his 9th year. He's got 9 years old. He's going to play his 9th year of football.
Yeah.
Montana State.
It's wild.
It's a matter of chasing money.
Yeah.
Well,
But I think with certain schools, like I look at URI right now and I say they're in the Atlantic 10, and men's basketball is in a tough spot because it's a state school. And so trying to generate NIL and revenue, that's a difficult thing for Archie Miller and his program when you're in the same league as Dayton, VCU, St. Louis, that are building their own arenas, their own huge practice facilities because they're getting that money. And so it's they're in the same league, but it's not necessarily a level playing field, because of NIL, and that's a wild thing. And some of it is just trying to generate support, and I get that, but that's what makes it difficult. And just that's one league instance. It happens in a lot of places.
But what about like Amari? What about Amari Bailey, who wants to come back? If you follow that guy, he's at UCLA, or he wants to go back to UCLA. He's played 10 games in the NBA this season. Now he's hired a lawyer and an agent, and he wants to go back for his one last year of eligibility.
They're going to let him.
For what? So
Precedent's
he
been
can
set.
grab the money.
Right.
I'm thinking so he can grab the money. Are they going to let him do that? He's already played in the pros. Are they going to let him go backwards? That's the big.
I hope not. I hope not.
It was precedent already set with the guy from Baylor. Didn't he do exactly the same thing? Played in like the G League and then was able to come back and play.
They were working on something. I don't know about Baylor. There was a guy at Alabama that they were talking about. I think it's Bediako. I think that's his name that they were talking about. And that's I know
he
Dan
played in the
Hurley
G
had
League though. This guy played in the NBA.
In the NBA, right?
He played for the Lakers.
Right.
And now he wants to go back.
I just think once you lose your amateurism, I think that should be the precedence,
I want to get back to PC for just a little bit. I was speaking to somebody last weekend about the problems that the Friars face and being competitive every single year and having to go through radical changes in their roster over the course of especially the last couple of years. He says, John, the answer's simple. They need to get out of the Big East. Is that too radical an idea?
Yeah, I think it is. I think for the program, they deserve to be in the Big East. When that program is going well, they have the support. They have the support and they have the money and they have the stage. I think they are in the right place. It's just a matter of getting the right pieces in place, getting the program going again. Because we saw it was only 4 short years ago that they won the Big East championship and got to the Sweet 16. And at the time they had a coach that was the right fit for the program. So I think we've seen it. They can get out of it. And when you have a stage like the Big East and the Big East is going well, you are in a conference where you can get to the NCAA tournament as an at-large, which is not what a lot of schools can say.
Nick Coit is our guest. This is 321 Kate County Sports Talk. John, Mike, Johnny Boots, the rest of the gang is all here. Time for a little bit of a break. We'll be back with more. Going to talk about something a little bit warmer, spring training, when we come back.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. Here in Rhode Island, we take pride in taking care of our own. At Lathrop Insurance, we have spent 86 years helping families and businesses protect what matters most. Whether it's your home, your business, or the legacy you're building, our team is here to provide peace of mind through customized insurance solutions. We're proud to support high school sports across Rhode Island because when our community grows stronger, we all win. Lathrop Insurance. Personalized protection, local expertise. Visit lathropinsurance.com to see how we can protect what matters most to you.
Welcome to Dan's Place, Rhode Island's #1 stop for amazing food, drinks, and live entertainment. Dan's Place offers a fantastic selection of unique menu items, including pizzas, pasta, steaks, and seafood. Here's what our customers have to say. A masterpiece on a crust. Watch your favorite New England teams on one of Dan's 4 big screen TVs. Looking for a great place to meet? Try Dan's Place.
I'm Dan from Dan's Place, where your only regret is not coming in sooner.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of pizza. The Pizza Nomad now offers delicious Detroit-style and New York-style pizza. Detroit-style, thick, crispy, chewy, rectangular crust with cheese to the edges. And the foldable, craveable, thin crust New York-style pizza. Forget about it. Just 2 more ways the Pizza Nomad helps you eat life to the fullest. Check out the full menu of salads, apps, calzones, craft burgers, grinders, and wraps. Wood-fired flats and mouth-watering pizza. Visit or call the Pizza Nomad 291 Providence Street in West Warwick at 821-2106 and 718 Center of New England Boulevard in Coventry at 642-2677.
I'm Johnny Mack, General Manager here at Sandy Motors, and since 1988, we've been making car buying wicked easy for Rhode Islanders. So come with me and let's go see how wicked easy we make it when car buying. From cars, trucks, and SUVs, Sandy Motors has the selection you want at the price you want. Get approved now and see all our inventory at sandymotors.com. Every vehicle in certified condition for you to drive for many years to come. Sandy Motors, we're making car buying is wicked easy.
We've told you for years that AJ's Restaurant is Kent County's go-to spot for great breakfast, lunch, and takeout too at 828-4160. And now you'll find more parking, mere steps from the back of the building to AJ's front doors. AJ's. Plenty of those world-famous home fries, plenty of parking, and as always, popular for breakfast, popular for lunch. 1365 Main Street, West Warwick.
Hi, I'm Sean with Easy Does It Moving and More. Whether it's local or long distance, we've got you covered. We even help with unpacking and secure storage when you need it.
From start to finish, Easy Does It Moving and More makes sure that all of your belongings get there safely. Make your move easy and call 401-545-6078 today.
Easy Does It Moving and More, because moving shouldn't be stressful, it should be easy.
The law offices of Murphy and Fay have over 75 years of combined experience in personal injury law, automobile accidents, and DUI cases. Bill Murphy, Mark Fay, and Brandon Horan will give you the personal attention, the experience, the skill, and dedication that your case deserves. It's a winning combination. If you're injured in an auto accident and it's not your fault, call Murphy and Fay. They will make them pay. Call 490-3200 or visit them online at murphyandfay.com.
Hey, welcome back to 321K County Sports Talk. The whole gang is here with Nick Coyne, our special guest. Nick, before we get to the Red Sox and spring training and all that happy stuff, were you after Sam Presti? When did you graduate from Emerson?
Oh yeah, I was way after Sam. Thankfully, I'm not aged that much too much yet. I think Sam was like around like 2000. I think he graduated, something like that.
Maybe 01 or 02. He and Ron Petty.
Yeah, and I was 07. No, sorry, I was 11 from college, 07 from high school. So what's really cool is Emerson has this like quiet mafia when it comes to the NBA. We've got two GMs. It's not only Sam, but Will Dawkins is now the general manager of the Washington Wizards, and he's just acquired Trae Young and Anthony Davis over the last couple of months. So he's trying to build his team up. I've got friends that coach and or are general managers in the G League right now, which is awesome too. It is very quietly something that, you know, has kind of built up, is that Emerson influence. And the guy I credit a lot of it to is our former coach, Hank Smith, who's an awesome guy. He'll show up. He's a scout for Sam Presti in the Thunder organization. And so you'll see him. Yeah, you'll see him at Friar games. He'll show up and it'll be like, it's a great surprise for me because it'll be like, oh, it's Hank. Oh my gosh, you know, because it's kind of. There's
a guy who was a genuine great guy, very student athlete oriented, but he was the wackiest guy in the court.
Oh my gosh, Mike, you were just talking about the old school coach's coach.
That's Hank.
Yeah, that was Hank. The stories that I heard from my guys that were on the basketball
They're all
team.
true, Nick. They're all true.
Yeah, but they always were competitive and they always won. And those guys learned a ton from him. And so he was a great coach.
All right, let's turn up the heat. Let's talk Red Sox baseball, spring training, all the stuff that'll make us take heavy winter sweaters off. You like what you're seeing so far?
You know, I don't know. I'm so.
You sound like me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, Mike. This is well, you know
Sorry.
what? It's the Red Sox that do it to me. It's baseball because I'm a baseball guy at heart, and so it's always the Red Sox that I have just that little bit of skepticism for. But really, this offseason, so I like what they've done with the pitching staff, and I think that was a nice pivot to build up your rotation. Good bullpen. Ranger Suarez, I think, is a really nice addition. But where are you going to get the offense from? And that is the key. And I just think I think you can get offense from a lot of the guys in the lineup, but they are putting a lot of pressure and a lot of expectations on Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer to come through big as young players. And I don't love that because I don't like putting way too much on the shoulders of young players like that. I want them to grow as they can grow here, not, all right, your lineup now, guys. It's like I don't love that in terms of trying to set them up for success.
I agree with you on Suarez. I think he's going to make us forget about Giolito very, very quickly.
Oh yeah,
and I also think between Connolly Early and I'm a high guy on Peyton Tolley. I think Peyton Tolley is the bomb. They're going to start at Worcester, but they're going to be in Boston very, very quickly, very quickly.
Well, and there you go, John. Like that's the way it should be with your young players. Okay, build up your major league roster. Yeah, Early pitched in the postseason last year. Great. He still needs time in the minor leagues to really develop. Same with Tolley. I like Tolley too. I love the kid's attitude, but I think he can still add another consistent pitcher to his mix. And so you got to let him sort of, settle that in Worcester with the Woo Sox. The lineup, it's different. I mean, like I said, they are throwing those guys into the fire. And I think Anthony's dynamite, and I really was impressed with Meyer too, but that is a lot to put on your young players.
I think Contreras is a big question mark.
Yeah. We forget about him.
Especially if they throw him in the 3 or the 4 hole.
Yeah. He can hit, and I think you can get guys to hit, but I can't remember who said it, but I heard somebody, it was a former Red Sox player, it might have been Brock Holt, but I heard somebody say recently, like, what the Red Sox are going to miss is like that guy in the lineup where it's like 2 outs, 2 guys are on, and you can get a 3-run homer from whoever it is, and that's what you could get from a Devers or a Bregman, somebody like that can do that. They're going to need to find that guy.
It may end up being Abreu at times. I think I was reading something yesterday that the 4 outfielders will all play, 3 in the outfield and 1 to DH, and they'll platoon the DH depending on the situation, who they're playing, etc. But I think they're missing the point. I look at a DH as someone who needs to be feared. Coming up in that big situation, bases loaded, 1 out, you need a fly ball, you need something big to happen. They don't have that unless you consider Contreras one of those guys. And I don't think they do.
It's a great point, John. Who is the guy when you look at the Red Sox lineup and you say, oh man, I don't want to hit, I don't want to face him, or oh man, we got to pitch around him. Who is that guy? Maybe Anthony if he develops here, maybe, but that's still a question mark. He's still young. So I'm with you. I think that's what they're missing. And the frustrating thing, guys, is that they were able to go out and pay the money to get Ranger Suarez. It didn't cost that much more for the Orioles to go out and get Pete Alonso. It didn't cost that much more to go out and get Bo Bichette if you're the Mets. So, yeah. And if it's the Red Sox, I know now our conversations are, well, it's either this guy or that guy. Wait a second. I thought you were the Red Sox. It shouldn't be this guy or that guy. It should be both. You've got the money. John, Henry, you've got the money. What are we doing?
I agree. They need to spend money and not, and sit in front of the fans and talk about they're going to make changes and they're going to do everything to really put the Red Sox in the forefront in New England, and they clearly don't. And your skepticism is right. They haven't done anything to win your approval or to change that feeling.
Right. That you still feel like they're incomplete. And that's what I don't like, is that I want to go into a season thinking, oh yeah, we added this guy here, that guy here, this guy here. And you still felt like right now you still feel like, is there another deal they could have made to get somebody in here to do this? Or, could they have traded one of those outfielders that they have a surplus of, to get a power bat or something along those lines? Like it just, there's still something left to be desired there. And you don't love that going into a season.
Who's playing first?
Contreras.
Yeah.
What do you do with the other guy?
Was Casas?
Yeah. Where's he go?
He's
You're
not
dangling
trading
along
either.
here and saying, does anybody want him?
He's not that,
Crazy.
Coming
you're
off
not
of
going to get much for him.
You're not going to get much for him.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that one, Nick?
No, they missed that window, I think, to trade him. And then the injury happens. And I mean, that injury was ugly. So it's, I think they'll give him time to come back. I think the best thing you can hope for is he comes back healthy and he's like your, a left-handed bat you can throw in there. He has some pop. He has some power.
Mm-hmm.
So he could hopefully contribute in some sort of way, but I wouldn't depend on him. I think Contreras is obviously your option at that position.
Were you as surprised as I was that Michael King decided to stay in San Diego with that allure of coming back to New England, the Hendricken guy coming back to play for his hometown team?
I don't think so. Because one, I know just talking to him, he was more of a Yankee guy than he was a Red Sox guy, I think, growing up. I think he had that. So when he pitched for the Yankees, I think he was happy. But it sounds like he's really happy with that organization and they really value him, and they showed it with the contract extension. So, and, I haven't been to San Diego, but I've always heard great things about San Diego. So living and, where you are, I think sometimes gets undervalued, when we have these conversations. And I think he's happy out there. And then he's starting a family now, so that's something to consider. Keep them where they are. And, and hey, it's, for mom and dad and for his sister, it's a plane ride away to go see him pitch, and like I said, they really like him out there.
It is a great place. It's a great ballpark. It's a great organization. He's going to be doing all right.
Yeah. He doesn't have to deal with this snow, right? So he's out there. It's like the best temperature, right? San Diego's supposed to be great temperature, great climate.
Oh, yeah.
Why would you want to?
I've been out there a few times. I mean, I've seen games at Petco Park. It's a really great place to play. It's a really great environment. And it couldn't ask for anything more, really.
Yeah.
He didn't play football, so I don't know. Like, I know his mom really is. I know his mom. He didn't play football, though.
Oh, she's the best, isn't she, Mike?
Yeah, she's really great.
Oh,
yeah,
the best.
Yep.
I want to apologize for you taking you out of the football a little bit so quickly, moving you into baseball.
No, that's okay. That's all right.
Kind of a odd thing to do.
Nope. I'm looking forward to baseball, sitting on the deck, listening to the Red Sox. I think I listened to probably every game smoke a cigar.
Oh yeah, that's what it's all. Yeah, there it is, Mike.
It was a great summer. Honestly, I just really enjoyed listening to those guys. It was great to listen on the radio. We went to one game last year, which was fun. Just getting in and just driving in. I'm from West Greenwich. I don't want traffic. I don't want cars in front of me. Red lights. They're just so to get me anywhere north of Assumption at this point is a stretch. So
USA Canada hockey coming up.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I know. I'm spending my weekend at Schneider Arena. Like I told you guys, I did the Providence hockey game last night. I'm doing I'm doing color for the women's and men's tonight. So, I'm like diving into hockey right now, and then I'll dive into what the Olympics offers. But it's exciting. It's fun. Like the Olympics are cool. It only comes around, every 2 years, and it's cool when you put that USA sweater on. I mean, I know you guys probably have the memories of 1980, and it's like that's what people immediately, that memory pops up. But then it's like, okay, who are our good young players? This is, and it's nice to have the pro players back in it, because it's cool when it means something to the professionals, and you can see it. We saw it with the Four Nations last year. This is going to be even bigger. So, and I love too that I think the U.S. wants to have that, margin of victory up as high as possible in terms of like seeding and moving on out of their group. So it's kind of fun to watch them right now in this group play, because it's like they're going to try to score as much as possible and win as big as possible, which is that's exciting hockey, So until they get to Canada, and then we'll obviously have that, and that's going to be awesome.
Crosby and Marshall and all that gang. You get three big David. Just
I
it's
love
gonna be delicious.
I love rooting rooting and or watching against Marchand because I love the guy. And so now that he's on the other team, you're like, oh, that's why everybody doesn't like him. It's cool because he's that rat, you know.
Yeah.
But you adore him because of just how great he was here too. But it's fun to see him on another squad.
Do you miss the high school stuff?
Yeah, I do. But I'm jumping back into it a little bit, which is nice. I did the middle school championships the other night, which was those kids for 7th and 8th grade, pretty darn good. Like the girls and boys. I mean, they were switching from zone defense to man defense, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty good. And the shot making and the quality, you know, it's I think the best part of it is, and Mike knows this too, because you know, just of some of the great players that have gone through Hendrick, and you mentioned Quiddy earlier. It's like you meet kids at that first stage where you just discover them and you're like, wait, who's this kid? Where did this kid come from? And then you follow them all the way to, you know, reaching the pinnacle of their careers as professionals. And Quiddy is an obviously great example, and his story and where he came from and his family and just all he went through to get to Hendricken and succeed. And, you know, I watch him and it's so fun. Like, I love telling the story of, you know, we discovered him at Hendricken, and then years later, he comes home, he plays for the Colts against the Patriots. And it was funny to walk into the locker room, and it was myself, my old partner, Ian Steele. It was Bill Koch. It was, I think, J.P. Smallins and a couple others from our local media contingent. We went into the Colts locker room, and there's Quiddy, and he sees us, and we all have the conversation like we're all old friends. And it was funny to watch all of his teammates like, does he know these guys? Like, and because it was cool because we knew him when he was 15, 16 years old. And you know, and we're asking him about, you know, so did you get to go out, you know, for dinner last night or something like that? He's go, oh yeah, I took the whole defensive line up to Federal Hill, you know, so they could get a real taste of where I'm from, whatever. Right. And then a couple of his big teammates in the defensive line are like, oh yeah, that's the best Italian food I've ever had, you know. And so that's the stuff that you really like is seeing the ground level of the careers and developing into great pros. Quiddy, you know, seeing David Duke Jr. make the NBA. Look at Tyler Kolek right now. I mean, the kid was a scrawny little guard that was scoring at Cumberland High School, and I'm looking at him like, oh, he's pretty good. He could be pretty good. Did I ever think he'd be the point guard for the New York Knicks? Like, wow, that's crazy, but it's an amazing story, you know. And he's got a great family behind him too, and that's always, you know, those are the stories that I really love.
Mutai saw him as a freshman playing against East Greenwich, 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah. And he was this little guy, but he had a knack for scoring, you know. The thing that I give credit to Shaka Smart for at Marquette was he saw the ability of him to be a point guard and pass the ball the way that he does. That's what's made him a great pro and got him to the NBA is he could score. We knew he could score, but the way that he does everything else now, particularly, you know, racking up the assists, it's really impressive.
Back to the Big East for a minute. St. John's, UConn. Who do you like?
I won't root against my guy Danny Hurley. I won't root against him. I mean, he's got a good squad, and when that kid Mullins, the freshman, plays really well for them, you know, they got a lot of good players, but he is a dynamite shooter. I mean, that being said, Rick's got St. John's going now. It took him a little while this season, but he's got him going. So, I mean, it could go either way, but Danny has done a tremendous job every year getting his teams to play well together, and to have that just sort of bite that he has, that little grit, and, you know, so Danny, I'd give Danny a slight edge.
Do you watch a little more college basketball through the media, the streams, and there are 6 or 7 games on Peacock every night at Fox Sports? I find myself watching so much college basketball now as opposed to maybe 15, 20 years ago. It's a different landscape, but it's still a lot of fun.
Well, what I love too, John, is that, and I go back to my favorite part of working in media and sports media is the relationships and meeting great people like you guys and great people that we cover. And, you know, that goes to, you know, the coaches too. And that's why I mentioned Dan Hurley, and we had a great relationship when he was at URI, and it was fun to cover him through the ups and downs because he was always entertaining and, always great to talk to. Or like, we built a great relationship with Phil Martelli Jr. at Bryant last year, and now he's at VCU. So if VCU's on and they're playing a big game, I'm like, maybe I'll click this on and see how they're doing, whatever. And so that's the fun thing, is following people that you meet along the way that are going on to bigger and better things, and trying to develop new programs. And that's where I find myself definitely turning on those games and seeing what's happening.
A great hour. I can't believe an hour's going by.
It was quicker with Nick than John.
Oh, yeah, no
Yeah,
doubt.
really, it's kind of tragic.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Great.
Nick, thanks for being with us. This is fun. Let's do it again sometime.
Guys, would love to. Always a pleasure. Great to talk to you. This is a great way to start my Saturday. This is awesome.
Enjoy
Where
the
you
rest
headed
of
today, Nick? You got some basketball games. Where you headed? Any of them?
No, I'm doing hockey. Like I said, I'm doing hockey at PC. I got the women's game this afternoon, the men's game tonight. It'll be really fun. But women are playing Holy Cross. Men are playing Northeastern again. So
Who'd they play last night? I know there was a PC game last night. Did you do the game last night? Northeastern.
And it was Northeastern won. They beat them 4-2, snapped a 9-game winning streak for Providence. But it's anything can happen in that league any given night. That's the beauty of the sport and the league. And it's I expect them to bounce back because Coach Lehman he's going to be on them for sure.
Nick, how's your vernacular with hockey? You get the hockey lingo down?
I think so.
Yeah.
I've done it enough now. Yeah.
That's a whole different
it.
world. It's a whole different vocabulary of I think I did a few for West Warwick hockey.
It's different.
I've hit my wall as far as my vocabulary.
You know what I do like, Mike? And I experienced last night doing ringside, because they put the ringside ice level reporter between the two benches. Oh boy. The chirping back and forth. Oh, that is fun. And they were trading blows at the end of the game last night. So I expect this game to be it's going to be a physical battle tonight. And but I'm listening to these guys go back and forth, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is what sports are about. This is fun.
You wonder when the sticks are going to come across the penalty box.
That's why I kept backing up, John.
Yep, right. Been there, done that. Nick, great, thanks.
Thanks, guys. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
Boots, final thought?
I'm taken to, today's a big basketball game for me. Tonight we got Rhodey at noon, PC at 1. What do you guys, we didn't touch upon this, and I know Nick's going, but just real quick, NBA All-Star game. Do we need them anymore? Do we need the NHL All-Star game?
This format, this USA versus the world, I think it's a good concept, because now you're starting to get that rivalry kind of a thing going. Maybe they'll play a little harder. Maybe they'll just go 3 dribbles and jack up threes. So I think it may be a little bit better than what we had previously, but it'll be fun.
I mean, today's it's a good sports day. PC, URI, and then we got the USA hockey team going on at 3:00 this afternoon, the men's. They're playing a 9 p.m. game over in Italy. So this is a great sports day. That's what I'm looking forward to, because I'm not with you guys. I'm elsewhere. So, but it's a great sports day. PC, URI, because, PC, St. John's, that's going to be a great game. And they took them down to the wire a couple of weeks ago. But and then I'm looking forward to the USA hockey team tonight, this afternoon at 3:00.
I'm looking forward past that game to the delicious game between the USA and Canada, which I expect to be in what's that, next Saturday, I think?
Probably one of the last games of the Olympics. Yeah.
Yep. A lot of fun.
Yep.
I'm looking at getting something to eat down here and grab some soupy since I'm down in Westerly.
Oh, you have to go get soupy, pal. I'm jealous I'm not down there with you guys. I would be heading off to a specific place that Ben and I usually eat lunch at when I'm down there doing work during the day.
You can say the name.
Okay, I want to go to Westerly Packing Company. Yeah, Ben's been there the entire time. He doesn't know it. He just didn't know it. I like to go to Westerly Packing Company and just get some great soupy. And then if you want some eggs and soup, you go to Ritaco. Right, Ritaco's, Ben? Is that the name of the place that I went to?
Yep.
Yeah, Ritaco's. That's great eggs and soupy. There's Ben. So, Mike, there you go. 2 places. But if you want some good fresh soupy, Wesley Packing, Get a couple of sticks of that. Oh, perfect for tonight. Yeah, you don't have to go out for Valentine's Day, Mike. Just have some soupy at home.
Oh yeah, she'll hit me over the head with that soupy.
She's getting hit.
Huh?
John, how was your? I got to ask you, how was your dinner last night?
My dinner last night was good, thank you.
Where'd we go?
You and I, we didn't go anywhere.
You and your wife. I know you went. Oh my God. Where did you go? You can say the name of the place.
We went to a little brew house on Route 2.
Oh, okay.
Romantic little interlude. It was excellent.
Oh, glad to hear it.
There had to be some reason here I'm missing, but that's okay.
I don't know. I just asked. He said he was going out to dinner for a big Valentine's dinner last night when I had lunch with him yesterday, and he says he's going out for a romantic.
All you do is eat, you guys.
That's all you look forward to.
Listen, I went to Dan's place last night. You know where I went for my Valentine's dinner.
Of course.
And then we went to Tavern on the Hill for drinks.
Oh, all right.
I should have called you up. That's close to. I mean, that's close to your home, Mike.
That I would have went. We would have went there because we were home. Just yeah, that's right. We can walk there. No traffic.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
so you get an extra dose of what we did for Valentine's night with Sports Talk. Where else on the planet but on 3, 2, 1? Boots, Mike. See you next week.
Thank you.
See you next week. Next week
All
at
right,
Dan's
see you
place.
next week. Oh, I will be. Oh no, I'll be remote in a couple of weeks. I'm going to Florida. Spring training. Assumption heads to Florida. So I'll try to do what y'all are doing here. Set things up with my earbuds and phone.
Next week we are indeed at Dan's place. Correct, Boots?
Yes, we are. We're going to be at Dan's place. Yep. So
So
and then
make
the
it a
week
date
after,
to be
and
with
then the
us
28th,
Saturday morning.
back in studio on the 28th. So
Got it.
Okay.
Yep.
For Boots, for Mike, I'm John. So long.